To your first assignment. Let's get started. The first thing that we need to do is we need to learn how to download fonts, and there are many different ways to do that. I'm going to show you one way right now, and I'm going to open my internet browser, and I'm going to go to Google 1001 free fonts, and it's going to take me to this website. Now, when you're using this website, it is very easy to download various fonts. There are many different choices to choose from, and you can pick almost any one you want for Windows or for Macintosh. So I am going to try and create a fire-like font. So I'm going to search fire-like fonts, and I think I like this one right here, this firefight. So it's very easy to download. Like I said, you just click on whatever platform you're using, and it will open up a zip or an exe, and you hit OK. And once you hit this, it is going to go to your downloads. You can double click on that and it will unarchive the file. At this point, you can close this window, and you can also minimize this. The font that I just downloaded is called Firefight. It's right here, and here is the TTF file. This is the actual font that will get installed in your computer. All you have to do is double click, and that should open your font book. Click install, and at that point you definitely have this font on your computer. So the next part of this assignment is to create artwork using that font. So I'm going to go to Photoshop, which I currently have on, and I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to open a new file by going to File, New, and this will take me to a window that will give me options on how I want to make this piece of paper look. For now, I want you to choose US paper, which makes the width 8.5, the height 11, the resolution 300, and RGB color. These are all the correct settings for this assignment, so make sure your window looks like that. Hit OK. Here is the window, the piece of paper that I have, and this is where my artwork needs to go. Now, the first thing I'm going to need is my text box tool, and that tool is located right in this toolbar, and it is the tool that has the T on it. The first thing I'm going to do is to draw a square, and this is my text box, and I can type anything I wish into here. And for this, I believe I'm going to type in the word burn. Now, it's kind of small, and it's not the right font that I downloaded, so I'm going to select it with the cursor. Up in this section is where I can change it, and I'm going to choose one of the fire fonts that I downloaded. And that's it right there, Firefight. And the next thing I'm going to do is to make this a little bit larger. We could probably make this even larger than 72. Notice it only goes to 72 for my options. However, if I select the 72, delete it, and type in any number, the font can be any size that I want. And I think 175 should be about appropriate. The next thing I need to do with this font is it's also the wrong color. So this is the layer I'm on right here. So I'm going to try to change the color of this font. Again, my tool has switched, so I'm going back to that tool, and I'm selecting it, and I'm going to find a color that's a little bit more like fire. And that's starting to look really nice. Alright, very good. Now, so this is starting to look hot. It's starting to say burn. Again, this is a little brown for what I like. I think I want a little bit redder. Not that much, but that's pretty good. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try working with some of the effects that Photoshop offers. You can open that effect window by double-clicking in anywhere on this layer. So I'm double-clicking here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a drop shadow on this to make it look like it's standing off the page. So I'm going to size this, and I'm going to spread this, and then I'm going to distance it from the paper so that it looks like it's popping off. The next thing I'm going to do is to create an inner shadow so it looks like it's glowing. Right now my inner shadow is selected on black, and I want something a little lighter, a little more like fire. And then I'm going to size and spread that within it. So that's starting to have a little glow on the inside. Again, I'm going to do this with this as well to double up the inner glow and shadow. Again, this is starting to look a little bit on fire. I can size this to how I want. And the next thing I'm going to do is try to make it look three-dimensional. Now, when I'm making it look 3D, I want to bevel and emboss this. Now, again, the sizing is very important. You need to emboss it the right size and give it that same shape. The last effect I'm going to work with this time is the gradient overlay. Right now, it's yellow and black, and I'm going to switch that up. You can choose other gradients right here, and I want one that looks a little bit more like fire. Again, I think I'm going to choose to adjust some of these colors and pull some of these out. Again, colors are very easy to adjust. Just double click on one of those and you can easily adjust them. And again, a color like that. And I want to eliminate this color and I want to add this color over here. So I'm going to grab the Option key and drag that over. And there we go. This font is starting to look a little bit interesting, a little bit hot, if you will. You can also change the gradients to do different things like radial, reflected, diamond. And I think I'm going to do a nice reflection off to the side. And then you also have the ability to multiply, blend, lighten, soft overlay. I'm probably going to do a hard overlay, or soft overlay. It makes it look nice. And again, I'm going to adjust this a little bit so that it's where I want it. This fire, it's starting to look hot. It's starting to look burned up a little bit. And it's okay. I think I have enough different selections done here. Now this font's starting to look really good. The only problem is the background. The background is very plain and it's not complementing my artwork, and I want something that will complement my artwork. So the background layer I have selected is white, so I'm going to delete that by dragging it into the trash and adding a new one. This new one is on top of my font right now and I want it beneath it, so I'm just going to drag that down. The next thing I'm going to do is use my shape tool and add a shape of color back here. Right now my colors are white on white, so it's going to be a white box. And there's that white box right back. Now this time I am going to change and add a gradient overlay in the background as well. And again, I'm going to try to make it look something a little warm, similar to fire. This is starting to look nice and warm, but again, I think I maybe even want something like this. And again, I want a radial one this time, and I want that reversed. And I'm going to size that out a bit, changing the opacity a little bit, dissolving it a little bit. And the next thing, I'm also going to bevel and emboss the background with a contour bevel so that it also looks like it's three-dimensional and sitting. By hitting Command T, I can grab this and I can bring this down a little bit and hit Enter. At this point, my font is starting to look a little expressive and very dramatic. So what I'm going to do now is save my file and upload it to the class. So I'm going to File, Save As, and it opens up my Save As window. Right now I have a Photoshop document, and most computers aren't going to be able to read Photoshop documents, so I'm going to switch this to a JPEG. And I'm going to save that on my desktop, and that's it. Once you've saved your files, you're going to have to hit OK when this window pops up. You want your image to be large size so people can see it clearly. And then hopefully my file will pop up right here as soon as it's done. And there it is. At this point, you want to save your Photoshop file in your folders, and then you can turn it off. I hope you learned a lot, and remember, you have to do 3 of these assignments for this week. If you have any questions, I've already shared my email and phone number with you. Please contact me, and have a good week.